What's up, Star Wars fans? My name is Prince, and I'm an urban acolyte. This is another episode of Star Wars Chats, and for this episode, I've only got one story to cover, and it's related to Kylo Ren. So I'm not gonna fluff around. I'm just gonna get right into it. So this story came from an article that was on Vice.com, and it was written by Brogan Morris. So according to Brogan Morris, Kylo Ren is the greatest Star Wars villain of all time. Let's unpack this. I've summarized his article, so I'm just going to read my summary to you guys. So Brogan wrote, the expanded Star Wars canon is introducing a new level of complexity to the Star Wars universe that we didn't get to see in the original saga and the prequel trilogies under George Lucas. Think about it. Rogue One presented us with ostensible good guys who merc'd friendlies and bad guys who were more or less just bureaucrats who happened to be working for the Nazis. The Force Awakens gave us our first Stormtrooper with a conscience, a soldier of the Empire who defected to the other side. The Last Jedi goes even further. Luke Skywalker, our original Star Wars hero, is now a gloomy hermit who wishes the Jedi to end, while the saga's latest villain, Kylo Ren, is a sympathetic antagonist whose actions seem almost rational. Up until this point, the primary villains of Star Wars, Darth Vader, Emperor Palpatine, Count Dooku, the asthmatic android General Grievous, they were old school, the sort of bad guys who took pleasure in others' pain for no more reason than they were just a bunch of bad hombres. It's like they were evil for the sake of being evil, and the only person who seemed to have a real reason for being evil was Emperor Palpatine. But we got to see the story of how young Anakin Skywalker fell and became Darth Vader in the prequels. But something about that story just didn't stick. Anakin's fall was extremely rushed, and it took the Clone Wars and the not exactly canon Revenge of the Sith novel to make Anakin's fall convincing for me. Kylo Ren showed up on the scene in The Force Awakens as an emo Vader clone, but Rian Johnson added a new layer of complexity in the latest installment, The Last Jedi, where he showed that Kylo Ren isn't simply evil, but Ben Solo was driven to do horrendous acts because of a disturbed mental state. What we know about Ben Solo is that he's born of two heroes of the original saga, who appeared to be the absentee parents much of his life because, well, they're off rebuilding the galaxy. The one person who sees the promise in him, his uncle Luke Skywalker, believes that he's the chosen one of a lost Jedi prophecy. But Ben wakes up to see his uncle Luke came close to killing him in his sleep. There's also the sense of entitlement. Ben is royalty by blood and the descendant of the most powerful Jedi and Sith. And an inferiority complex because, well, he's of a noble house and the grandson of Anakin Skywalker. And so you can see why he's all mixed up. Kylo Ren, unlike those previous Star Wars villains who were tempted to a mysterious dark side by an intangible power that we as viewers find difficult to comprehend, is understandably, even relatably bad. Darth Vader was originally a character steeped in mystery who later had his story fleshed out. But a villain like Vader would not work for the audiences of today. We've moved past the world where the lines between black and white are blurred with shades of gray between them. Our villains require a layer of complexity. Today's storytelling requires a villain who has clear motivations for why they do the things that they do. Kylo Ren is the perfect antagonist for our complex world. A world in which one person's villain is another's warped hero, in which we view morality on a spectrum, and in which we're all too familiar with the concept of cause and effect, and how the good guys sometimes inadvertently help to create their own enemies. When it comes to the villains, no, Star Wars really isn't what it used to be. It's gotten even better, right? So what I liked about this article that was written by Brogan Morris, and I've got a link below if you want to read the full article. I summarized it. I kind of cut and pasted and added my own lines to that. So I should say this that I just read to you guys was written by Brogan and me. I took his article and kind of played around with it, right? But you can totally read the full article. But what I was saying is what I liked about this is it introduces the issue of theodicy. That's what it's called in philosophy. In theology, theodicy is this idea, it's the problem of evil, right? You have a God, you have the Force in Star Wars, and you have evil. How does evil get there? Well, in Star Wars, the way we've been told up until now is you've got the dark side and the light side. The light side is the good guys. The dark side is the bad guys. They wear black. They look like machines. They're impersonal. Everyone is a cog in the machine. And now, George Lucas, I said this in a live stream. I said George Lucas's ideas regarding the Force have evolved as he's aged, and he's passed this knowledge on to people like Dave Filoni, people on the story group that he personally picked and hired, and now it's being introduced into the storytelling, right? Even though George is off, well, the dark side it's really about being selfish and greedy and inflicting harm on other people. Sometimes it's not your intention, but it's just a fallout of what you do when you're striving for whatever it is that the dark side is pushing you towards, right? And the light side is all about being selfless, being of service, right? And what we learned in the final episodes of the Clone Wars, when Yoda literally faces his shadow, is we were wrong. The Jedi were wrong. We don't have a monopoly over the light side. We've basically been heretics. We have ignored the dark side, right? Light and dark go together. What did Luke say to Rey? Powerful light, powerful dark. They go together, right? You can't have one without the other. But you can acknowledge the dark side, but you don't have to give into it. You don't have to empower it just by, okay, I see you. I see you, bro. Holler at you. Holler at your boy. But don't holler at me. I see you. I holler at you, but don't holler at me. I holler at you like, yeah, you stay in your lane, I'm going to stay in my lane. But I acknowledge that you're there versus the Mace Windu point of view. It's my duty to pick up my lightsaber and strike down and rid the galaxy of all traces of the dark side, right? Because that's it's that point of view that made Luke believe it's time for the Jedi to end, right? That we're just gonna go and pick up our lightsabers, a laser sword, and confront the First Order and remove all traces of the dark side. And it's like, well, didn't he kind of do that? Yes and no. He challenged Ben by doing that, but he wasn't actually there with the, like, think about Luke Skywalker did that, but he didn't do it, right? There's always double meanings. Nothing is ever clear. And that's what makes Kylo Ren the best villain moving forward. There's a double meaning to everything he does. I thought that Kylo Ren, that Ben, this guy was going to get wrecked in The Last Jedi. And it's like, well, Prince, you were wrong. Well, I was only going by what Adam Driver said. So I have to now go back, now that I've seen the movie 4 times, and try to figure out what did he mean. How do I interpret that now that I've actually seen the movie, right? Larry King said, does your character live? Does he live? Well, does he die? That was the first thing. No, he doesn't die in the movie. Does he live? And he said, well, you could call it that, right? He's consumed by anger, by hatred, right? There's the awkward sexuality thing going on. A lot of the Reylo people are still insisting that Reylo is a thing. And I'm like, look, how is that a thing? He basically said, you're trash. But you're not trash to me, right? You can't, some of you guys know that I had a friend, and there may have been potential for something else to happen, but she's on the other side of the world, and somebody got there before I did, right? So let's say that relationship falls apart in a few years, and I come back and I say, well, one man's trash is another man's treasure. You were his trash, but you could be my treasure, baby. Hey, I got a whole lot of game, but any woman with some kind of respect is going to give me the finger and tell me to kick rocks because I basically just called her trash. And that's Kylo Ren. It's like he's got this air of superiority. I can teach you the ways of the Force. You need a teacher. And then Rey proceeds to kick the crap out of him, right? Rey, I know the truth about your parents. They're poor. They were paupers. They sold you for drinking money, and now they're dead in a pauper's grave somewhere on Jakku. You're nothing. You're not a part of this story. You're nothing. You're trash, right? Just like your parents threw you away like trash. That's what you are. But you mean something to me. Join me, and together we can burn it all down, right? And it's like, you join me so that because I've got the right idea. She says, Ben, come on, call down the attack. We can save the resistance. We can save your mother. No, to hell with them. Let's burn it all down. I'm the man with the master plan. I literally am the man now. I killed Snoke. I'm all hail. The Supreme Leader is dead. All hail the Supreme Leader. I'm the man. I'm noble by blood. I'm the descendant of Anakin Skywalker. And guess what? I got his lightsaber because you threw it to me. I've got the lightsaber, this item of power that I've been seeking all this time. I got it all. And now I'm getting ready to have you. And the First Order already rules the galaxy. And now I'm at the top of the pyramid. I got it all. Right? And it's like, dude, we feel bad for you, but we hate you at the same time. We know how you got there. We understand your pain. But all you're doing, that salt that's being rubbed in your wound, you're the one that's doing it. Go back to the video. I know I uploaded a video back in the spring. It's not really Star Wars related. It was a grad school application essay when I was applying to Vanderbilt Divinity. And I talked about the meaning of dukkha, suffering, right? When the Buddha says there is dukkha, there is suffering. And the Buddha doesn't actually say there is suffering. It's suffering. That word in Buddhism, there's suffering, and the Buddha's a sad dude. He's talking about all the suffering, and Buddhists always go, no, it's not suffering. It's you have wants. You have things. This thing is going to make me happy. Oh, if I just do this, man, if I smash that girl, I'm going to be the happiest man in the world. And then you smash her, I got to smash again. And you smash, and now it's like, well, I want her to do this thing, and now I want this other girl, or I want this car, or I got to get this job. Let's say you're an honorable dude, right? Because I'm not, I'm really not I know I use that analogy, but I'm not into chasing skirts. I'm an honorable dude. I've never cheated on any of my girlfriends, right? So, man, I got her, but now I want to get her a diamond ring. I won't be happy until I get her a diamond ring and I can see her face. And I want to get her a big house. I want to get her an SUV. I want to give her children. Oh, we got all of that. But now I got mountains and mountains of debt. I need to make more YouTube videos. And I need the videos to go viral. And oh, if I can only get 10 million views a month and make... don't worry about how much money 10 million views a month is worth. It's a lot of money, though. If I can only get that, and it's like you want more and more, and you're always chasing happiness. That's what the meaning of suffering is. And that's what this dude is doing, and we see it because with Vader, he's always suffering because he's always angry. And the only thing he has is hate and loss, and it's like, if you really think about it, it's like, dude, if your life sucks so bad, why are you listening to Palpatine? Why don't you just kill yourself? Right? I'm not joking. I'm not trying to joke about suicide. I'm actually going to do a video on the whole Logan Paul and suicide thing on my meditation channel. But I mean, think about Vader. Like, let's be for real for a moment. Vader, if your life sucks so much, why do you keep going on? What is the point? Like, you're literally in hell, right? Why? Now we know why in the story is so he can't do that because he's the chosen one and he has to destroy the Sith. And he's got to wait around, and then the New Hope, Luke, and then Boba Fett says the kid that destroyed the Death Star is Skywalker, and Vader, I have a son. And now he's all about finding Luke and connecting with his son and all of that. And when he learns that, you know, they lied and they covered it up, the Padme, the baby didn't die with Padme and everything else. It's like I have a new reason to go on. But up until then, those 19 years, it's like, bro, why are you doing this? Like, Palpatine hadn't even told you his full plan. You're just here because you want to be a dick. Like, that's it. Your life sucks, but I think you like this, right? And it's like it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. We got why did Dooku join Palpatine? How did he fall? I mean, we think we know. Well, he became disillusioned, and then when Qui-Gon died, that was it. He walked away from the Jedi. But why did he become Count Dooku, leader of the Separatists? Yeah, we know there was a plan. But why? Right? It doesn't make sense. I know the story of General Grievous and that he was lied to, but it still doesn't make sense. Okay, they lied to you and said the Jedi killed your family and the Jedi tried to assassinate you, and that's the reason, and we made you a cyborg to save your life. And yeah, they planted false memories, but it's like, but why, man? Like, that's kind of cheesy, right? You know, and it all falls back to Palpatine. All these people are evil because Palpatine lied to them, right? So it's like, it's like Palpatine like mind tricked all of them, right? And turned them all evil, right? But now we got this dude Kylo Ren, and he has made a conscious decision to do this thing because all that other stuff, the bad stuff, the Dooku, the Grievous, the Vader, the Anakin, all of that stuff has gone into creating this guy. So when we talk about Kylo Ren as the greatest villain, Star Wars villain of all time, if you say, no, I don't agree. I mean, you know what? A year and a half ago, my cousin DJ in Phoenix, he told me to do a video on why Kylo Ren is such a weak villain. And I said, no, cuz I don't want to do that because Kylo Ren is the opposite of Luke Skywalker. The original saga showed Luke becoming the great Jedi that up until now, now that those of you who loved Luke Skywalker, I guess The Last Jedi ruined your childhood, right? But the legend of Luke Skywalker, we saw how that began. And now we're seeing the reverse of this guy. And I've said, hey man, let's let Kylo Ren become what people thought Luke Skywalker was going to be in the expanded universe. The most powerful Force user, this and that. He's kind of already being set up that way, and things happen much faster than I thought they would. But it's still an interesting thing, and it's something to think about. But I want to hear from you guys. What are your thoughts on all of this? Do you think that Kylo Ren is the greatest Star Wars villain of all time right now? Or do you think that after episode 9, he could go there like JJ could put something in 9 that'll just blow everybody's minds, right? Kylo Ren does he does stuff that's on the level of the father and the son and the daughter of Mortis, right? Just crazy stuff. Who knows? But let me know, what do you think about Kylo Ren being the greatest Star Wars villain of all time? Do you buy it? Do you not buy it? Or maybe you've just given up on Star Wars completely. And if that's the case, I don't even know why you sat through 20 minutes of this video. So let me know your thoughts down below, and I'll be checking back to see what you all have to say. If you haven't subscribed already, go ahead, click that subscribe button and take your first steps towards becoming an urban acolyte. Embark on the journey of becoming the hero of your own story and become a force for change in your community. Continue to support the channel. You can do that by checking out yesterday's video on Rian Johnson's response to The Last Jedi, or you can check out the video that YouTube has selected for you. Anyway, that's all I got for this one. Thanks for watching. Y'all keep on breathing. May the force of others be with you. Always.